Hi Scott, how are you? Rob Phillips here.
Yeah, all good. You?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Very good. Well, you come across an old familiar face tomorrow in Jamil Matt. How are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, it should be good. Keep in contact with him anyway, but he's a good lad. But we'll be making sure that hopefully he's not on his game tomorrow, and we could get around him and put him under a lot of pressure.
He can cause a lot of trouble, can't he? As you know.
Yeah, definitely. He's we know him from here. He's a handful for any team. Even if he's not on his game, the way he puts himself about, he can put any defence under pressure. So we all know that we've got to be on our game tomorrow with him, and hopefully we can do that.
How do you wind him up? Have you got special ways? Is he susceptible to being wound up?
I've seen him lose his head a few times, so we'll definitely give it a go. But no, I'm sure he'll know that we'll be trying something, so he'll be switched on, level-headed.
Scott, you'll know it was an absolutely mad game the last time at Forest Green, that playoff semi-final. I can't imagine you played in many more extraordinary games than that.
No, definitely. It's definitely one that will live in the memory. Like you say, early on, we thought we had threw it away and managed to get ourselves back in the game and go on and win it. So it was very dramatic, and it was one that I've not really ever played in a game like that before. So it was one to tick off, but hopefully it won't be quite as dramatic tomorrow, and we can go and get the 3 points.
And as for the squad in general, I mean, you know it's like to lose in playoff finals. You clearly want to avoid that. What is the difference with this squad compared to the other two you've been in to get to the finals?
I think we got a lot more strength in depth this year. I think you can see that if we pick up any injuries or any COVID cases, we got players that can come in and don't necessarily weaken the side. We got players that come in and sometimes even strengthen the side. So it's a massive squad at the minute, which we're all fighting for the places, and there's so much talent in the squad that that you can see that. That's why we're picking up the results that we have been recently.
And are you drilling into the youngsters in particular? You don't want playoffs again.
Yeah, we have the joke that with the ones that have been there and done it, that we don't want the playoffs again. But obviously, if that's the way we got to go, then we'll have to do that. But we do have a laugh and a joke about it, yeah.
And just finally for me, I mean, you seem to be the you should almost have a blue light on it. If ever there's an emergency and they're looking to fill a position, you're there. You're like an emergency service.
Yeah, I've had it through my career, to be honest. When I was at Exeter, I got moved around a lot. I think that was part of the reason that I decided to leave in the end, but it never really changed. Everywhere I've been has been the same. I don't mind as long as I'm on the pitch and I can give 100%. That's what I'll do, and I'll continue to do that.
It's have a brilliant game tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers.
Morning, Scott. In terms of James, how have things changed for you? What does he expect of you that's different?
He's quite honest, quite open with us. To be fair, as a group, he'll have individual meetings. He'll let you know sort of what he wants you to do during each game. And with me, it was a frustrating start because obviously I was injured when he came in, so it was hard to obviously get into his plans. But I think I've done that now and worked my way in. And he's been brilliant, to be fair, with all the team, with this whole squad, and the way he communicates with us is really good.
And you are a midfielder again now. It's sort of it's that pressing. He's onto you all the time, isn't he? As a four, to really get that ball back as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the things we work on. And you can hear him on Saturday. As soon as we lose the ball, he wants us going after it. He wants us to win it back and counter press them and then attack them as quickly as we can. I think it's one of the strengths that he's brought in, to be honest. It seems to be working, and we'll continue to do that.
Your midfield role has changed because last season, obviously, Josh was there, wasn't he? And he was the deeper one, whereas you're the deeper one now, aren't you? With this sort of...
Yeah, it's slightly changed. I mean, with Josh, it was sort of we wanted him to get on the ball as much as possible, and then I would sort of come around and almost be like a holding player when we lose the ball. But when we had it, I'll try and get out of the way and let him do his stuff, because we knew what he was good at. Whereas this year, it seems to be Gaffer wants me. He calls it the cage. He wants me to be in the cage, in and around the attackers, to break play up and get the other boys on the ball, because you can see how frightening they are when they attack quickly.
So you say get out of the way. Is that you try and get out of the way of Finn and Ollie? They're just ridiculous. They're having such good seasons, aren't they? Those two, and Jake's coming into it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I know what I'm in there for. I'm in there to win the ball back and give them the ball and let them do the magic. You can see how good they are and how quick they are on the counter. So as long as that's working, we'll continue to do that. But yeah, I'm happy with the role at the moment, and them two have been on fire, and I'm sure they'll continue that.
Is cage a term that's used by a lot of people, or is it just James? Have you
No, I've personally never heard it until the gaffers come in. But yeah, he uses it quite a bit. The cage, in and around the cage, and this is a term that he uses for me and with Robbie, and whoever's playing in there. Really, Jake's coming in there a little bit now as well. So it's just new to me, but it's one that I've picked up.
And in terms of Forest, you'll need to be good in the cage, because they are an attacking threat, aren't they? They're really strong. Yeah,
they are. They've been on fire. You can't argue that. You can see that with the results they've got and the run they've been on. We know they're a threat, but we're also a threat on our day. So they're going to have to be wary of what we can do. But we're going to have to be strong. We're going to have to stand up to their game and take it to them.
These are the exciting games, aren't they? These ones that they must be fantastic as a player to have these.
Yeah, definitely. You look forward to these types of games, and I think it's going to be a really good game with both teams that try and play football, press quickly. So I think it should be an end-to-end exciting game, hopefully.
Good stuff. Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Hi, Scott. It seems like there's a good mix of experienced players that have been at Newport for a while, and some young loan players and young players coming through at the club. How important is that dynamic, both on and off the field?
Yeah, it's hugely important. Like you say, we've got a core group that have been at the club for a long time. We know what the club's about, so we can pass that on to the younger group coming up through and the loan players. But the experience and mixed with the youth is something that's working really well for us. We've got the energetic youth of Finn, Ollie, Jake, and then you've got the experienced players of like Mickey, Pasky, me, Robbie, Matty. So there's a lot of experience to pass on to the boys that we've been in and around the leagues for a long time. So it seems to be working.
Yeah. Also, as well, a word on the fans, expecting a good travelling support to Forest Green on this Saturday. How good is it to have the fans back in general this season?
Yeah, it's huge. We missed them in the 2 or 3 games that we missed them at home. We always get a good following. They're always loud. You can't argue with that, and hopefully they'll be there again in their numbers. They'll be singing their hearts out, and we can hopefully give them a performance that they deserve.